I want to welcome everyone to our August 6, 2020 Daviess County Fiscal Court meeting. We're coming live on Facebook because we are still under a 10-person limit by the governor's order. Commissioner Koger, would you lead us in a prayer and the pledge?
May we pray? Lord, we praise and thank you for all your blessings. Please continue to guide the members of this body in your willfully direction. Lord, remind us that as you we truly serve in serving the citizens of this community. We praise you for entrusting us to lead our county. Pray for our firemen, policemen, military, and first responders to always be safe. All this we pray through our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Once again, I want to welcome everyone to our August 6, 2020 Daviess County Fiscal Court meeting. David, Rodney, if you're hearing me, some folks in the past have had trouble, still have trouble getting sound. Is there anything that we can tell them that they should do, or is it just most everybody can hear us, but on occasion I will get a call or I'll get a text or an email. If you don't have sound, I'm sorry, I don't know what else to tell you. Although I do remember Commissioner Caslin and I were coming back from your in-laws, our visit in Cloverport, and we were trying to listen to something on Facebook. And I had Bluetooth on in the truck, and as long as Bluetooth was on, I could not get a sound. So it might be that those who can't hear have Bluetooth on. If you'll go into your settings, turn Bluetooth off, and see if that doesn't give you better sound. Jenny, are you ready?
I am. Item 1, consideration for approval, minutes of the July 23rd, 2020 Daviess County Fiscal Court meeting.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Commissioners, you've all had a copy of the minutes in your possession for some time. Any additions, deletions, or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
B, all claims for all departments.
Motion approved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Commissioners, again, you all had a copy of the bills due and payable by Daviess County Fiscal Court in your possession for some time. Any questions of the treasurer? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
C, treasurer's report and settlement for fiscal year ended June 30, 2020.
Move to approve. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Mr. Hendricks.
Normally, the presentation of the financials for court is just a presentation. The final one for the year is what you have in your packets, along with the treasurer's settlement that I am required to create. And that must be approved, so it's fine. It's on the consent agenda. You have you've seen the documents, and then you have the documents that are included in the packet. I have a letter at the beginning of the treasurer's settlement, basically where I'm attesting to the fact that the financial statements were prepared on a regulatory basis that we are required to do by the state of Kentucky, that I have reviewed all funds, all cash accounts have been accounted for, all revenues and expenses and liabilities have been reported accurately, and they comprise the list of the financials that you have. The preliminary report has been sent to DLG. It's cleared their initial approval, so it's been posted on their website. Now, at this point, we will await the annual audit, which will begin sometime this fall. But as I was closing the books, there was nothing caught or seen that was unexpected. There was nothing to apprise the court of, but we had made the court aware of everything that ultimately is reflected in these statements. The cash position is still good. We had projected last year that if we didn't raise the tax, that we would have been a couple of million short. The analysis at this point reflects that that was accurate. We don't have a deficit because of that tax increase, but neither do we have an increase in the reserve. So that's it basically came in very close to what we had anticipated, so all that's good. With that, I present you the report.
Commissioners, any question or comment? And that report will be on file if anybody, we put that on our Facebook page or our website? Does that go on there?
Can.
Your
I don't know if
report.
We do. We can.
I think that I would suggest it so that anybody could go there as opposed to coming here and asking to see it. So let's just put it out. And if there are no other questions or comments, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
D, budget transfers for fiscal year ended June 30, 2020.
Motion approved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Mr. Hendricks.
Normally, we don't do budget transfers for the prior year this late. However, when I was closing the books, a unique situation occurred that I haven't seen since I've been here. Basically, you know that July was a 3 payroll month, so we got paid very early in July. In fact, payday was July the 2nd. We have to make the deposit 3 days prior, so the same day of our meeting, the payroll was deposited on June the 30th. In our, what we call the payroll suspense accounts, that creates an issue. Normally in a month, it's incurred, and then when the payments are made, it pretty much washes. So the account balance is very small. We have a huge account balance, one that is absolutely certainly going to get auditors' attention. But the reason is we had to make the deposit for the July payment in June. So it throws June off. It also throws July off for the next year. If you take it together, it's fine. But it just creates a distortion. So these entries that I'm presenting you need to be made so we don't have big negative balances showing the difference between actual and budget, just like we did all other budget transfers. I just didn't know about these until I saw it late in July. So with that, I'm requesting permission to do budget transfers. Again, the budget transfers do not increase the budget. They just move the money around within the budget. 181,000 of the general fund, 58,000 in the road fund, 166,000 in the jail fund, and I need to change that total description, and 77,000 in the solid waste fund. I request your approval.
Commissioners, any question or comment for the treasurer?
I'm just curious, Jim, would you anticipate that even though we're doing this after the fact, that the auditors are going to make any comment about it, or do you think they're going to look at it and say?
I don't anticipate anything.
Okay. All right. Any other question or comment? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
E, Davis County Detention Centers Policy and Procedures Manuals.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and second. We have our jailer, Art Maglinger, with us today. Art, if you would come up and just give us a brief summary of the things that you did. Whoever wrote your cover letter must have really been sucking up because it talked glowingly about you. Hold on, man. Take it back to him and let him do it.
All right, thank you, Judge, Commissioners, members
Excellent.
of Fiscal Court. This is a team effort in the policy review. It's a lot of policy, obviously. I appreciate your time and consideration to review our policy manuals. I want to commend my command staff and also Joni Clark, who is our Special Projects Manager. The biggest change we had this year would have been technology with the video visitation. And COVID-19 really, it was good timing. We were already considering this for the facility, but it was a perfect timing with the COVID-19 pandemic.
Anything else?
Several, Judge, but whatever you want to know about.
Jailer, rough report, don't mean to put you on the spot. Our prisoner numbers, where are they?
We're about 530 today.
Okay.
Of those, a breakdown, about 85 federal inmates, about 150 county, and then we have about 12 McLean County, and the rest being state inmates. We're at a little under 300 state inmates.
How many did you say were local? About 150?
About 150
Yeah,
at this
that's what I
time.
was thinking.
150?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, those are the ones that we pay for. So
Yes,
we
yes,
like,
Judge.
at one time, I saw them down to about 125, 128, something
And that's
like
about the
that.
lowest we've ever been historically.
I do want to give you props and kudos on the fact that we have actually increased federal prisoners from roughly 10 when you started to 85. And
Thank you.
those folks pay well. They pay better than state prisoners. So you guys have done an excellent job out there. I get few complaints regarding the jail. Other mama wants a boy shipped closer to home, but, you know, that's up to the judge, not up to us, so.
So do we not have any, I don't mean to interrupt
Yes,
you.
no, go
but
ahead.
I know in the past we've had some Vandenberg County. Do we not have any of them right now?
We don't have those in anticipation of federal inmates. I didn't want to overpopulate the jail.
I see.
Yeah, we've talked about it, commissioners. There may be some other changes going forward with us taking prisoners from adjacent counties because of the federal, the good job that Art's doing with the federal prisoners.
Okay.
So, any questions, any comments? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Thank you, Jailer. You don't have to stay.
F, Resolution 18, 2020, postponed definitely to August 6, 2020.
Do I need a motion to bring it back to the table?
It's already on the table, Judge, because it was.
Okay.
postponed definitely.
Okay.
It is on the
Okay.
court's agenda.
Commissioners, we have a Resolution 18, 2020, which said that we would remove the statue and in accordance with the wishes of the Daughters of the Confederacy and our wishes, relocated to Highway 431. That motion was postponed. It is still a good motion. The motion was made and seconded, so we need to vote on that motion. All those in favor of that motion signify by saying aye. Those opposed to the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion fails. Next item.
G, Resolution 20, 2020, regarding the Confederate Monument.
Move to approve.
Second?
I have a motion second. Commissioners, the new motion, and I'm going to read it so that you will be, and you are familiar with it. We did not release this motion to the newspaper. Contrary to what somebody posted on Facebook, we weren't hiding anything. The resolutions typically are changed right up to the moment. The main thing was it's a resolution 18-2020 regarding the monument. So this resolution of
No,
Davis.
this is 2020.
2020, did I say 18?
You said 18.
Okay, I'm sorry. It was Resolution 2020, a resolution of the Davis County Fiscal Court regarding the Confederate Memorial Monument. Whereas Davis County Fiscal Court believes it is in the community's best interest to relocate the Confederate Memorial Monument currently displayed on the courthouse lawn. Now be it resolved, Davis County Fiscal Court will remove the Confederate Memorial Monument from the courthouse lawn. Davis County Fiscal Court will establish a committee consisting of community members within 6 weeks of this date, August 6, to recommend where to locate the Confederate Memorial Monument. The committee may consult with other groups in the community before making the decision on where to locate the Confederate Memorial Monument. The committee shall provide a recommended location to the Davis County Fiscal Court within 6 months. I would need and we have a motion to approve and a second. Commissioners, as I read that, I know a couple of you had asked me, and now I understand where you were coming from. It says Davis County Fiscal Court will remove the Confederate Memorial Monument from the courthouse lawn. We will not do that until the committee brings back recommendations as to where it might go, and we would vote on those. Now, that committee also, we don't want to tie their hands, I don't think. They may come back and recommend that some other things be done on the courthouse lawn and maintain the statue, which is a very, very nice piece of art. So I hope that people understand And I think all of you commissioners have gotten calls, emails. I know we had several petitions dropped off. I had one lady who had wanted me to read into the record her letter regarding the removal, and if we did that, we would have to read everybody who asked, and we would be here until 8 o'clock in the morning. So logistically, we just couldn't do that. I think we got the gist of what the community was saying. There have been a lot of support on both sides. Some of it nice, some of it not, some of it threatening. As a matter of fact, I had a letter from Jim that said I was going to be toast anyway that I voted. So Jim, I just want you to know, I know who you are. And it also said that they would make sure that I was defeated in an election, and I actually had not decided to run for re-election until I got that letter, but that damn letter sure has made my mind up for me, I can tell you. So thank you, Jim. There were other folks who were nice. They had all the reasons in the world. And we listened. I'm telling you that we listened. And Commissioner Wathen, thank you for postponing that first one and giving us an opportunity to hear more from the community. I think that was absolutely the right thing to do. Now, as I look back on it, even though I berated Commissioner Castlin over it, didn't I?
A little.
But, you know, I think, so both sides had their get-togethers, their forums, and they told us what they thought. Unfortunately, a lot of them believe that this is something we should put on the ballot and let everybody vote. As one gentleman said, in a fair and legitimate election, I thought they were all fair and legitimate, we can't do that. Claude, as the county attorney, I'm going to ask you, can we put items on the ballot for people to vote?
You may not.
We may not. That is forbidden. So I think that each and every one of these commissioners up here would have said, yes, let's put it on the ballot, so that we weren't placed in a position of having to make a decision. But folks, you absolutely elected these four men up here, or as some of those who get mad at us called us four gray-haired old white men, to make these decisions. That's what we were elected to do. We are a representative republic. If you don't like what we do, 4 years from now, you can vote us out. Just pretty simple, isn't it, Claude? That's probably the best recall of them all, isn't it? So, you know, I can tell you that each commissioner and myself, we've taken and responded, and on occasion have had some folks who were not so nice. But for the most part, I'm extremely proud of my community. I'm proud of the way that you've conducted yourself. I'm proud of the way that you respected the other side if you didn't agree with them. And I'm proud of the way that you interfaced with us. Somebody wrote me an email or called me and said, you have to do what the majority wants you to do. And it seems like the person that's telling me that always believes they're in the majority. And that's both sides believe they're in the majority.
That's right.
You know, I had one that told me that I should pray to God, and God would tell me what to do. Well, I prayed to God. So we're going to find out what he told me to do. With that, I think what I'm going to do is allow each commissioner, and Commissioner Castle, I'm going to start with you, explain how you're going to vote, have a statement, and let's go.
Judge, I don't have anything prepared to say, and I'll just echo what you said as far as that we've heard from both sides a tremendous volume of it's kind of interesting, something inanimate that can generate so much passion in an individual, and it's been an interesting process. For that matter, the next 6 months, as we wait for the committee to make their recommendation, will be an interesting process. That's all I have.
Okay. Do you want to tell us how you're going to vote?
No, I'll vote when you call for the vote.
Okay. Commissioner Castlin, with that being said, the committee, and I've talked to you, each commissioner will appoint a member The judge executive, I'm going to appoint the chair of that committee and one other member, so we will have a 5-person committee. You know, I would hope that perhaps you would go out into your district, so we'd have a representation from the various districts, but that certainly is your prerogative. It's your appointment to the committee. Commissioner Wathen.
Yes, I have a statement. I guess it starts out with a question of how did we get here? You know, our community is known to be a peaceful, hardworking community that loves and accepts each other no matter where we come from. We work together, we play together, and we pray together. And God has truly blessed this community, and I'm very proud to be part of it. In the last month, I have received and read at least 400 emails, plus many phone calls, texts, letters, and personal conversations. There's a few points that I have decided that I want to make that I think summarizes some of that communication I had, and then I'll tell you how I'm going to vote. It seems like there's a group of citizens who want the statue to stay right where it is. They believe that the statue was put there by a group of people in 1900 simply to honor and remember the fallen members of their family that did not come home from a war. Many soldiers on both sides died in battles and oftentimes were buried right there at the battle site. And that was extremely hard on those families. They didn't have grave sites and nothing to help them remember their family members. So they raised money and erected a monument honoring those missing family members. I'm told that less than 30 years after the war, in 1893, the Daviess County government at the time, I'm not sure what they called them, but they voted 21-1. I'm giving y'all a history lesson because I've gotten one myself. But they voted 21-1 to allow people to put a statue on the southwest corner for the Confederate soldier, which they did. And then they also said they could put one on the southeast corner for the Union soldier. The group they did not ever put their statue there, obviously. We also have a group of citizens that believe the statue represents slavery, pain, suffering, racism, and white supremacy. And in their communications, they have requested that we remove the monument because to them it's very hurtful. It represents too many negative things. Then there's another group that I believe started out being the largest group. And that's a group of people who really, in Daviess County, that never gave the statue much of a thought. In fact, if they even knew it was there, they never considered it a good thing or a bad thing. To them, it was just a historical statue, one of those neat-looking things that you see on a courthouse lawn. And I can tell you 10 years ago, I was in that group. I never gave that statue a thought. But now, obviously, it's become a huge issue, and some of these folks that didn't care now are beginning to take sides. So some of them see it as an important piece of history that should not be removed. They believe, good or bad, it should be preserved. It should be used as a point of reference, demonstrating where we came from and where we don't want to go back to. We should not try to undo our history. That's what they've told me. And some of the people from that group have moved to the side where they believe that historical or not, it is so negative that it needs to be removed. It has been recommended that we add a statue of Union soldier or Josiah Henson, Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King, and 2 or 3 other different people. And we actually looked into that, and the problem with that is
that the new statute could cost anywhere from $180,000 to $240,000. And I just can't imagine this community wanting to spend that much money on a statue. So here we are. I believe that we're here because a lot of what I just described is actually true. It is a monument to the soldiers who died in a war. And it also, to a lot of people, it represents many, many negative things, like racism, white supremacy. That's real. It represents that to them. And finally, it is a historical statue that has been there 120 years, and I believe it must be preserved. As an elected official, I believe it's my duty to make decisions that I believe are best for our community. And I also know that no matter which way we vote tonight, we're going to make a whole lot of people mad, and that disappoints me. I don't think any of us want to be in this position. So I implore all of our citizens to look at the other person's view. Think about what it is that they think. Think about why they think it. Try to put yourself in their shoes. And then as a community, we'll get back to working together. I firmly believe the best way for us to handle this issue is to accept this resolution as written. It does two important things. It moves the statute, and it provides us with a means on how to preserve it. So that's why I will be voting yes to moving the statute.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Koger.
Commissioner Watson, it's an outstanding job you just presented to us, and I appreciate that. It's not a lot of other words that I can add to that, but my decision, a lot of my decision was based on the community response that voted me in this office to represent them, and I'm like Commissioner Watson. I probably got over 400 emails, texts, phone calls, and individual interviews, and you're not going to make everybody happy, but based on everything that I've read into this, I'm voting yes to have it relocated.
Thank you. One of the things that I didn't say was that I would like, Commissioners, if you would come back. Now, I said 6 weeks, and you can certainly take that long, but I think we need to get the committee working as quickly as possible. If you could bring me the names back at our next meeting in August, that would be good. At the latest, maybe the first meeting in September, because I would like to get them together. You might remind the committee that they will be a committee that's subject to open records and open meetings. Isn't that right, Claude?
I'm sorry,
That,
it will be open.
yes, open meetings, open records, and even if you would get together with a Zoom meeting, you have to provide an address and a password for people to come in and observe. You don't necessarily have to have them comment, but they have to be able to observe what you're doing. So we need to do that. I think one of the instructions, and if any of you disagree with me, and Commissioner Watson, I think you alluded to this, we want the statue preserved. We don't want the memorial destroyed. That's above all. And we want to keep it in Daviess County. We do not want to see this statue shipped out, kind of like Louisville sent one to Meade County. Mm-hmm. I had a call yesterday from a gentleman in Union County. He wanted a statue. He was willing to buy it. I had a call from a gentleman in Hallsville, and he was willing to provide land on his farm to put it. It's not what this commission wants. This commission wants it to be preserved because of its historical perspective and to keep it in Daviess County. I think what we are looking at is it's a statue that brings heartache to those folks that you talked about, Commissioner. It's on public property, and that public property is where they have to come and do their county business. So with that, I'm going to call for a vote unless somebody has anything else they want to say. All those in favor of Resolution 2020 signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, motion carries 4-0. Next item, Jenny.
HMOA with City of Owensboro regarding the JAG award.
Motion approved.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Jim, are you going to talk about this? Or I can. It's a justice. It's the Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance JAG program, grant program. City of Owensboro and Daviess County came to agreement long before we ever got here, and we alternate. The city receives the grant in even number of years. We receive the grant in odd number of years. There are certain things that you have to use the grant for. City of Owensboro this time is going to use it for 10 AR-15 rifles, some 105 red dot optics. That's not 105 optic systems. That's the model number of the red dot sight, and 27 flip-up rear sights for patrol rifles. Pretty standard. There's no difference between the one that the city signed for us last year. Any questions? Yes, sir.
I just have a clarification. I think I know the answer, but
Okay.
the reason we alternate is just so we don't compete with each other, right?
That's correct.
For the same.
That is correct. Yep. Any other question? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
I, Professional Design Services contract with Axiom for the Operations Center Real ID renovation.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Mr. Johnson?
Yes, Judge. Late last week, we received the executed copy of our lease agreement with the Commonwealth of Kentucky for the Real ID office to be located at our Operations Center with a notice to proceed with producing the bid documents and drawings for the project. This contract is for that project's design and to produce all documentation necessary for the bid process. I have reviewed it. It is in order, and I would recommend approval for service items 1 through 6 in the amount of $18,100.
Question or comment? Jordan, if we approve this tonight, Axiom will be back to us in how many weeks?
Roughly 3 weeks.
3 weeks, and once they come back to us, we will go into the bid process, which will be another 4 or 5 weeks, 6 weeks?
Roughly 4.
4 weeks. Once we have the bids back, we can award the bid and they can get started.
Yes, sir.
We're still looking 1st of January, but I understand that you think we can go a little quicker than that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mark, during that construction, it's not going to interfere with the road department, operations center operations?
No, I do not believe it will.
Okay. Any other question or comment? All I can say is thanks to everybody that worked on this and is going to provide a regional Real ID office in Daviess County instead of us having to travel to Madisonville. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
J, AmeriCorps Host Agency Agreement benefiting the Homeless Council of the Ohio Valley.
Motion
Move.
approved.
Second.
I have a motion second. Commissioners, this is the same type of agreement that we have with AmeriCorps every year. It's in the amount of $5,750. I don't see any difference between this contract and the ones that we have signed in other years. Any question or comment? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
K, award the following: RFQ 9-2020, a new 11-foot flex mower. Bid number 24-2020, North Jackson Road Bridge replacement. Number 25-2020, 2 new 2020-2021 3/4 ton 4-wheel drive pickup trucks. 26-2020, a new 2021 1-ton 4-wheel drive pickup truck. 27-2020, 2 new 2020-21 3/4 ton 4-wheel drive pickup trucks. Bid 28-2020, a new 2020-2021 half-ton 4-wheel drive pickup truck. Bid number 29-2020, leachate trench and grate replacement.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Jenny, after that, can you say hydroxychloroquine 3 times real fast?
That would be fantastic.
Jordan, you know how we do this. If you would take us through each bid, just pause, and I'll ask if there's any questions. Okay?
Yes, sir. I will start by saying you may have 2 copies of RFQ 09-2020 in your packets. If you do, please ignore the first. Starting with RFQ 09-2020, this quote is to purchase a new 11-foot flex mower for the Parks Department. This item will replace a 2004 Bueller YT450 Batwing mower that was offered as a trade-in to offset the purchase price. We received 3 responsive quotes ranging from a net $7,400 to $12,000 and recommend pursuing the lowest and best evaluated quote of Rudolph Brothers Implement for a 2020 Land Pride AFM 3011 in the net amount of $7,400. This is a budgeted replacement. There are no exceptions, and I would recommend approval.
Commissioners, any question or comment?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Jordan, I meant to ask you this before, but since this has a bat wing, does that make this a Batmobile?
I'm telling you.
No comment.
Any other questions or comments? Jordan, I'll give you just an opportunity to recover from that. You want to take us to the next one?
Yes, sir. Bid 24-2020. This bid is for the construction of a side-by-side box beam roadway bridge across Rhodes Creek on North Jackson Road. We received 4 bids ranging from $276,500 to $460,000 and recommend pursuing the best evaluated bid submitted by Scott and Murphy Incorporated in the amount of $282,452. You will note that we are not recommending the lowest bid received. The low bid had an estimated completion date approximately 5 months beyond that of the next lowest bid and recommendation, moving the completion of this project into another fiscal period. Our consultant engineers agree that a more timely replacement of the bridge, along with Scott and Murphy's satisfactory historical performance on such projects, justifies the 2% differential in total project cost. This is a budgeted project. There are no exceptions, and I would recommend approval.
Commissioners, question, comment? Next item.
25-2020, this bid is for the provision of 2 new 2020-2021 3/4 ton pickup trucks for the Daviess County Road Department. We received 4 bids ranging from $69,990 to $87,744 and recommend the lowest and best evaluated bid submitted by Crossroads Ford for the 2 2020 Ford F-250 units in the amount of $69,990. These are budgeted replacements. There are no exceptions, and I would recommend approval.
Question or comment, Commissioners? Next item, Jordan.
26-2020, this bid is for the provision of 1 new 2020-2021 110 pickup truck for the Daviess County Road Department. We received 5 bids ranging from $36,445 to $43,940 and recommend the lowest and best evaluated bid of Crossroads Ford for the 2020 F-350 unit in the amount of $36,445. This is a budgeted replacement. There are no exceptions, and I would recommend approval.
Commissioners, questions, comments? Jordan, I just noticed that you're flying through those a lot easier than Jenny was. Can you say hydroxychloroquine 3 times real fast? Next item.
27-2020, this bid is for the provision of 2 new 2020-2021 3/4 ton pickup trucks for the Daviess County Fire Department. We received 4 bids ranging from $62,796 to $73,200 and recommend the best evaluated bid of Crossroads Ford for the 2 2020 Ford F-250 units in the amount of $64,396. You will note that we are not recommending the lowest bid received. The low bid has a delivery date more than 2 months beyond that of the next lowest bid and recommendation. The 2 units being replaced by this bid are 2 of the most utilized in fire rescue's fleet. 1 unit is experiencing serious deteriorating issues. Our fleet mechanics agree that a more timely delivery and replacement of a failing unit justify the 2.5% differential in total purchase price. These are budgeted replacements. There are no exceptions, and I would recommend approval.
Commissioners, questions, comments? Next item.
28-2020, this bid is for the provision of 1 new 2020-2021 half-ton pickup truck for the Daviess County Engineering Department. We received 4 bids ranging from $29,497 to $34,900 and recommend the lowest and best evaluated bid of Sternberg Chrysler for the 2020 Ram 1500 in the amount of $29,497. This is a budgeted replacement. The exception to our specified tires is minor, and I would recommend approval.
Question or comment, Commissioners? Next item.
Bid 29, 2020. This bid is for the removal and replacement of the leachate trench and grate at the Grimes Avenue Transfer Station tipping floor. We received 2 bids ranging from $32,500 to $49,000 and recommend the lowest and best evaluated bid of Hare Construction in the amount of $49,000. This is a budgeted project. There were no exceptions, and I would recommend approval.
Commissioners, question or comment? Okay, all right, we had a motion and second to accept all of the bid recommendations. You've heard them. If there are no other question or comment, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, Jenny.
L, second reading of ordinance number 9, 2020, KOC 62119, 2020, an ordinance relating to the Daviess County road, bridge, and street system.
Motion approved.
Second.
I had a motion second. Mark, tell me a little bit about what this ordinance is doing.
This is just updating our road index like we do about once every year. Plus, we also, in this last 6 months, we've reconciled our list with what the Highway Department has on their database. Quite a bit of changes. Most of them are minor in substance, just some changes in mileage. I would recommend approval.
Commissioners, any questions or comments about updating the road index? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
M, promote James Havner to the road department as a heavy equipment operator.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Mark, I'm assuming this is an internal promotion?
This is.
Okay. Mr. Havner, congratulations. Any other comment? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
N, promote William Nance to the road department heavy equipment operator.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Mark, I assume it's an internal promotion?
It is.
Any question or comment, commissioners? Congratulations, Mr. Nance. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
O, hire Daryl Roberts as seasonal park attendant upon successful completion of pre-employment screening.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Any question or comment about Mr. Roberts? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
P, reappoint Morgan Baker to the Daviess County Animal Care and Control Board, term 8/7/2020 to 8/7/2024.
Motion approved.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Commissioners, Morgan has served one term and done a good job. I think the Animal Control Board's been a little slow and lax here the last year or two, but it's still an important component of Daviess County Fiscal Court. So, Morgan, thank you for serving, and thank you for agreeing to serve again. Any question or comment? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Jenny, before you read the next one, Will Mattingly is my son, so I'm going to recuse myself. And Charlie, would you handle this?
I will.
Q, appoint Will Mattingly to the Daviess County Animal Care and Control Board, term 8/7/2020 to 8/7/2024.
Motion approved.
Second.
And let's see, Will, thank you for agreeing to serve, and for Misty Miller, who has served one term, she's going off, thank you for your time. And all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, and the record reflect that Judge Mattingly abstained. Motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioner. Next item, Jenny.
2, consideration for discussion, a first reading of 10/2020 KOC B51 2020, an ordinance authorizing the issuance of industrial building revenue bond series 2020, Audubon Area Community Services Incorporated project.
Commissioners, this is a first reading. I'm going to ask Mr. Hendricks to kind of lead us through this.
Basically, the bond is not Daviess County Fiscal Courts. It's Audubon areas. There's an existing bond that was done several years ago, and it was financed through the Daviess County Public Improvement Corporation. So there will have to be a public hearing on August 18th when we have the second reading of this. It will have to be a public hearing where you convene that organization to approve what they're doing. First of all, they're going to pay off the existing bond. It's a mortgage revenue bond, and in order to accomplish that, they actually transferred title from Audubon area to the Daviess County Public Improvement Corp. So Daviess County holds the title to their building. They're going to pay that off. As soon as they pay that off, we will transfer title back to them. And then simultaneously, they're refinancing part of the outstanding debt. I think they're going to go now, I read today where there's going to be a little less than what they asked for, maybe $1.8 million. And they're dropping the rate. They're cutting the rate almost in half of what they're paying. They'll finance, because they have a reserve, so they're going to borrow less money, so they'll have cost savings there. Then they'll issue an industrial revenue bond, which is different than the one they had. It's still going to be financed, according to what I'm reading, through the Daviess County Public Improvement Corp. And I think that's because the tax advantage that they're seeking, they cannot do on their own. They're a quasi, and they don't qualify, so that you have to do it through a tax-exempt organization, which would be fiscal court. Since you all have been on the court since 11, most of you, you've done several of these for different groups where Daviess County is the issuer. You have to do a lot of reading to understand what that means, but you are the issuer, means you attest to certain things that they qualify, which the bond counsel is taking care of. But it says in here very clearly in section 11, the bonds do not constitute an indebtedness of the issuer. So while Daviess County Fiscal Court is the issuer, it's not your debt. It also says that no monies shall be raised by taxation nor any other general or special revenue of the issuer. So there's your security that this bond does not apply to Daviess County Fiscal Court. In Section 8, you are also authorizing the judge and the fiscal court clerk, and maybe even me, to sign a lot of documents. The package is usually very thick. We'll have to sign a lot of documents to execute this. The only other question is the bond purchase agreement, which Claude and I just got today, but between now and the second reading, we will review that to make sure that there's nothing in the bond purchase agreement that contradicts what I just said about our obligation. So that in a nutshell is what this does.
Commissioners, questions, comments? All right, first reading, no vote. We would have this if anyone wanted to see the document, the ordinance. It's available in our office, and they're welcome to look at it. If they want a copy of it, Claude, we can send it to them if they request it. We're happy to do so. Jenny, next item.
B, other business to be brought before the Daviess County Fiscal Court. I'm not aware we have any.
Okay, I don't have any. Next item.
C, public comments.
This is the time in which we would normally ask those present to come to the podium, identify themselves, and they would be welcome to speak on any issue other than what was on the agenda. David, do you have anything that wasn't on the agenda that folks have emailed in and a question about? So he's shaking his head no. Next item, Jenny.
D, comments by Daviess Fiscal Court.
Commissioner Koger.
Pass.
Commissioner Wathen.
I'm going to pass.
Commissioner Caslen.
Pass.
You know I can't pass. For those folks, you're probably aware that Daviess County Fiscal Court, City of Owensboro, the Green River Health Department, Owensboro Health, and several other folks have stopped having our Zoom meetings. We are going to have one Zoom meeting next Thursday. It will be at 6 p.m., and that Zoom meeting will be attended by Congressman Brett Guthrie. And we're going to kind of update everyone on what's going on in our area as far as the COVID virus. And I would tell you that we have had an uptick in virus, but as you look at the positivity rate, it's actually gone down to about 5%, maybe a little under 5%, which is a good thing. We have a lot of states that are considered hotspots where they've got 15 to 23% positivity rate. The governor's asked folks to avoid those areas, quarantine when you come home. Don't know how he can enforce that because he won't know they've gone and won't know they're home. So, but anyway, just a few items. Today, we had 10 new cases confirmed in Daviess County, 1 in Hancock, 8 in Henderson County, 3 in Ohio County, 3 in Union County, and 4 in Webster County. Daviess County has had 724 cases. 644 of those cases have recovered. We have currently 4 in the hospital, and that's very pleasing. Not that they're in the hospital, but last week we had as many as 16 folks in the hospital with the virus. Daviess County has had 8 deaths, and we send along our condolences to those families. I would tell you that while those numbers are large, if you look at Ohio County, that has a fourth of our population, and multiply their cases of 360, that means Ohio County has had about 1,450 cases. They have had 8 deaths. Multiply it by 4, that would be equivalent to 32 deaths per 100,000. Now, Ohio County had COVID get into a nursing home, and we all know how dangerous it is for older folks like you, Commissioner Caslin. It just is something that you don't want to take a chance with. I think it seems to me that the mask thing is working. I know it's an inconvenience. I forget it half the time, and my wife is smacking me around, telling me to put the mask on. We are not wearing masks in this courtroom setting because we are all socially distanced, at least 6 foot apart. But it's really important that we continue to wear the mask, that we social distance, and that we sanitize our hands and avoid touching our face. Average age of the folks with COVID now is at 43, and that's come down quite a bit, and that's because a lot of young folks have not been following the precautions. The age range, 7 months in Daviess County, 7 months to 95. Now, there would be some that say, well, that 95-year-old person was going to die anyway. Well, we're all going to die. But I'm sure when they got COVID and ended up with pneumonia or some related disease, that helped. 49.6% are male and 50.4% are female. There for a while, it was a huge differential, male versus female. I think the females have gotten a little wild out in the community here lately, and that's why we've seen it kind of even out. If there is no other business to be brought before Daviess County Fiscal Court, without exception,